made contact and shattered.
At some point, Chris locates what's called a dry bag.
Law enforcement had considered Laundrie the only person of interest in the murder of his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Turn it over to another agency. Let's get some help.
Hello? John.
Good morning, everybody. So good to see you all here joining the chat and coming in. Good morning, everyone. As you all know, we aren't reporting good news, or we aren't really even doing any sleuthing today. We're just going to be talking about the conclusion so far in the missing person case of Quinton Simon. He's no longer missing. Authorities believe that they know where to find him, and unfortunately, he is not alive anymore. So let me share my screen. I know you guys have seen the update. And good morning, everybody. I just wanted to say, even though this is sad news, I'm happy to see you all here, and thank you for being here. I didn't sleep much last night. That's why I'm not going on camera. It was just a long night, guys. Like, I was just tossing and turning, just sort of wondering like what happened, obviously. And I'm happy to be here with you guys kind of talking about this, but it's just terrible. And congratulations to Rebecca Hooper, our member that we've had on this channel for a while. I wrenched her and gave her a moderator wrench. Good morning, Jonesy. So good to see you. Christy B, I know I'm angry too. It's terrible. And, you know, my daughter just turned 21 months today. So, you know, it just hit really close for me, like seeing him, and, you know, him and his diaper looks so much like my little girl in her diaper. They're just so cute. And the thing is, like, my head's just been spinning just from knowing how she is. Like, she climbs on stuff now. Yesterday, I sent my mother and Kelly from CDT a picture of my little one. She climbed in like the cupboard underneath the sink, and we don't have anything down there, but it just is like, I just kept thinking, like, what happened? Like, did he climb up and get a hold of something? Was he being naughty? Because like yesterday too, like my little one was coloring with crayons on our love seat, and it's not a new love seat or anything, and the crayons come out with dawn. But I was just thinking, did somebody get mad at him for something he was doing? You know, they're just so like curious at this stage. My head's just everywhere. And I just don't understand how people could have, you know, hurt him if that's what happened. Or, you know, the fact that they say he was last seen in the playpen, I'm thinking like it's the opposite. Okay, Florida Bass Fishing, the rundown of this case was this little 20-month-old boy went missing. Family was, you know, obviously upset, and the grandmother has full custody of this kid because the mother, we don't really know the details of why she lost custody, but it seems as though she was unfit, obviously, according to the courts. For some reason, the mother had the little one in her, like, the grandmother wasn't around, pretty much. Something happened. So we're kind of to the point where we just want to know why and how. But here's a police comment from last night that I shared on my community page. We are saddened to report that CCPD and the FBI have notified Quinton Simon's family that we believe he is deceased. We have named his mother, Lilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death, but no arrests have been made and no charges have been filed. So from my understanding, they were still looking for him in the landmine or the landfill, which is just absolutely horrific. And people are like, why did she wait, you know, obviously a whole week? You know, think about like a dump, like all that trash has been accumulating for a whole week on top of him. It's terrible. It's terrible. Judy Davis says, I work with 2-year-olds. Busy, yes, but being a typical child, then murdering him, no excuses. Absolutely. Ashley Oaks says she thinks it was planned. I'm hearing a lot of people thinking that this was premeditated. Oh, yeah, in Florida, the other thing is since she had lost custody of the child and another child, she was going to be made to pay child support for these kids until obviously they were adults. So that's just the added, right, exactly, Ashley Oaks, convenient, right before she had to pay child support and was being kicked out of the house. Yep. Hi, Mel Mac. Good to see you. Good morning. Yeah, and it seems as though everyone in this case has a criminal record. And apparently CPS was involved in this. And, that actually means absolutely nothing. We don't know the cause of death, and I don't think that they've been able to recover him. I think that they've just been given information that that's where he is. I am going to play some news clips and stuff like that. So, yeah, exactly. If you don't want kids and, don't have kids if you can't care for them. I agree, Peach. I deliver trash before to a landfill. The bulldozers drive over that little baby's body. It is sickening to me. And his mother should rot in HE double hockey sticks. I agree. Yeah, she needs the worst of the worst coming to her for sure. It's terrible. All right, guys, let me just share some screen stuff. Get you guys caught up. It looks like the babysitter made a statement, so I want to share that with you guys. Yeah, we're just going to go through the timeline that I've put together too thus far. There will be a press conference today, so I think that we're just going to sit here, talk the case together, kind of decompress and absorb everything that we know right now, and then we can do the press conference later today. I don't know the time that it's going to be. Did you guys know of a time? So the police also said yesterday this was Tuesday. They said, we've seized evidence that we believe will help move this case forward, and we're now working to analyze the evidence to see where it leads us. We continue to pursue all avenues to bring Quinton home. Obviously, this is Tuesday, but I found it interesting that they said that they've seized evidence that they believe will help move the case forward. So we do know also that they searched the pool and used a search warrant for the pool, perhaps collected something from the filter or something to be processed. So they didn't really specify what type of evidence they found, but that was just something that they had stated on Tuesday. So, all right, let me just share my screen. I'm going to play 10 to Life's video that she did last night, kind of breaking the story. So I'll start there, and then we'll listen to what the babysitter has to say. And then I think I'll do my timeline. And then there's another media report I want to play for you guys as well. If you wouldn't mind just hitting the thumbs up button if you haven't already. And good morning to everyone who is rolling in and joining us. Georgie, good to see you. And you're not that late. We kind of just read this message and are just absorbing all the information. So 1 second, guys. Yeah, it's just horrible. It's just too much. It's too much to process, like what happened, Okay, let me share this.
Hey guys, new update in the
Quinton Simon case. He is the 20-month-old boy who was missing. Apparently, he has been recovered in a landfill and is no longer alive.
From what I had seen from statements from the family, they said that they were still looking for him. So I don't know if he's been recovered, like she just stated, but the family said that that's where they believed, or the police believed he was, and that they were looking to grab him from there. So I don't know 100% if he's actually been recovered. Does anybody know that? Because this makes it seem like they took his body and they have it. Like, that's a huge piece of evidence that we need for this case. So is it accurate what she just said, that they recovered it? Because I swear I've seen that they were still looking.
Law enforcement has not confirmed this yet. However, his grandmother, Billy Joe, has, and Leilani's brother.
And at this point, law enforcement has confirmed it. But like I said, they were stating, I think, in their texts that they were still finding him. Yeah, I think so too, Lucia. Not sure if they actually found him. That's what I understood. So a little bit of misinformation there in a way. Doesn't seem like that's what happened. Like, we don't have his body in the morgue from what I think and what I've heard. So they're going this morning. Karma is a B, says. So they're going to recover it this morning, you said? Yeah, law enforcement searched the pond.
So Quinton's uncle also has. Apparently, Leilani is the one who killed him, his mother, and she says that she has no memory of it. Which I'm not buying for a single second, because if she had no memory of it, how would she know to have the boyfriend text the babysitter not to come that morning? Here you can see the screenshot from the grandmother where she is confirming, and this is her real profile, as well as Leilani's brother confirming it here. Since releasing the information, people were tagging Billy Joe in it, and she again confirmed right here. I'll keep you updated on my YouTube as soon as we get more information. The arrest is made, and the press conference will be tomorrow.
So yeah, the press conference, was that echoing, guys? Did you need to see that again? Or was that okay? But yeah, let me just share what the babysitter has to say. Okay, everyone said it was fine. Okay. Thanks again for joining us, everyone, this morning. Everyone coming in, please hit that like button as well as I share my screen. Let me know if you can hear this, okay? Just hit the thumbs up as I press play.
There's too many people asking about where Leilani is, and I'm outside of my house. I heard the cops were coming for her, so
let me just pause it too, because I did want to just clarify that comment that Annie Elise just made from 10 to Life in that video. She said that they recovered his body, and I'm just looking through my notes and records, and that's not what Billy Joe, the grandmother, said. Actually, she had said, Quinton has passed, he's in a landfill, and my daughter done it. She has no memory of it. And the person said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then Billy Joe, the grandmother, says in a comment on Facebook, yes, they just haven't recovered his body yet. And then somebody was just, apologizing and giving their condolences. And they said, "Did your daughter finally tell you this? Or how did you find out? I'm so sorry for your loss. No one deserves this." And then other people commenting to her, and then she doesn't comment back. So it does appear like they just haven't recovered it yet. They haven't retrieved him, but they feel strongly that that's where he is, I guess. So I just wanted to clarify that because he has not been recovered yet.
We've been out here waiting. It's raining. She was in the road. There was a lot of commotion. And then everything just went dark. So I don't know where she is right now. I don't see any cars. I can turn the camera around. There's no cars. If you look right there where that car is going past, that's her house. It's totally dark. It's totally dark. I've had so many messages at one time asking, have I seen Leilani just in the last hour, 45 minutes. I did see her. I was at the truck, me and my girls outside, and we seen her in the road, and they were cussing, and she was trying to leave. And then a vehicle had pulled in, and she went back towards the house. So I don't know where she is right now. I want to see her arrested. And the reason I came live is because everybody is asking me all these questions and I cannot answer all these questions. So I just came on, but I can go out here. I mean, it's raining. It's raining really hard. But I can show you where the house is. And she was out here. It's lightning. It's raining and lightning out here. But see, let me turn it around. It's dark on the road. They turned all the lights off. But they were in the road arguing. And we seen Leilani, but she just disappeared. So I don't know where they're at now. But this is what we're doing. But I just wanted to let y'all see because I've had so many questions and messages. I couldn't just answer them all. But yeah, that is what's going on. That's all I know. I know that they put on that the FBI and cops were coming to get her. But I don't know. We can't believe it. Quinton is gone. But it's not the outcome we wanted. But I'm gonna go now.
That's so sad. That is so sad. Oh my gosh. That was last night. Just terrible, guys. Just absolutely horrible. So this was 16 minutes ago. This morning, back at the home where Quinton was last seen, Quinton's grandmother told me police believe the little boy's body is in the landfill. Oh my gosh. Police have called Leilani Simon, Quinton's mom, the number one suspect. Let's see if there's anything. Okay, yeah, this is just saying the same stuff. They haven't recovered him yet. So I'm certain we'll get like an update soon. I mean, as soon as they find him. Just because they think he's there doesn't mean he's found. So that's just horrifying too. All right. Let me just play my little timeline of an overcap of the case, and then we can do a media report on this that was posted last night. Good morning, Roxanne, and everyone else who has joined us. Thank you so much for being here. We're obviously covering some devastating news today, but I'm happy that you're all here with me. Please give us a like on this video. And if you want to send some prayer hands in the chat or comments below for people on replay, let's just send thoughts to Quinton's little spirit and his soul. Poor baby. He's with the angels for sure now. Wednesday, October 5th, Quinton is seen around 6 a.m. in his playpen at the Buckhalter Road home. He is noticed missing around 9 a.m. and the police are contacted. Chatham County Police, Savannah Police, Mounted Patrol, and Federal Bureau of Investigation, a Liberty County Sheriff's Office K-9 team, and a Mosquito County helicopter take part in the search. Halter Road and nearby roads are temporarily closed during the day. Neighbors also assisted in search without success. Thursday, October 6th, Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley holds a press conference saying, in part, police are treating the case as a missing person investigation. There's no evidence to indicate Quinton is no longer alive. WJCL speaks with Quinton's grandparents, Thomas and Billy Joe Howell, about the boy and the ongoing search. Friday, October 7th, Chief Hadley provides an update on the case during his regular scheduled presentation to Chatham County Commissioners. In court documents obtained by WJCL, it is learned that the grandparents are the ones who have custody of Quinton and that the grandmother was trying to remove the child's mother, Leilani Simon, and her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, from the home. Chatham County Police issued a statement reading detectives are working 18 to 20 hours a day and some outdoor searches continue, including a search of a pond. Searches are conducted at the home and the backyard pool and the pond. Saturday, October 8th, the Chatham County Police Department issues a statement saying the search continues, they are not in need of volunteers, and the FBI is still aiding in the investigation. Sunday, October 9th, CCPD issues a statement saying they are re-canvassing specific areas in the search for Quinton. CCPD establishes a tip line for information surrounding the case, 912-667-3134. Monday, October 10th, Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley holds a press conference providing the latest on the investigation. The fire department is called to the home to pump the pool in the backyard. Media requests a 911 call placed by Quinton's mom, but the request is denied by county attorney, citing the ongoing investigation. Chief Hadley is quoted as saying, "We want to make sure we do this as professionally and as expertly as we can. So if, and I say if, we have to prosecute anyone in this case, that we've done it right." A 911 dispatch call that was obtained by media shows that Quinton's mother found the front door open and said she believes someone came in and took him. Tuesday, October 11th, Chatham County Police issue a statement saying they have seized evidence they believe will lead to closure in the investigation. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children issues a statement on the case. As the search for Quinton Simon nears the 1-week mark, we encourage the community to keep sharing Quinton's story. This case has touched the hearts of countless people beyond Savannah County, and anyone, no matter where you live, can get involved to help find him. Here at the National Center, we know that all it takes is one person to bring a missing child home, and we will not give up hope until Quinton is found. We're here to support law enforcement as they continue to work diligently to find Quinton and safely bring him home. Wednesday, October 12th, the Chatham County Police Department issues a statement which reads, "Today marks 1 week since Quinton Simon was reported missing. We will be at his home where he was last seen with a team of search dogs and investigators. We will spend today gathering and analyzing evidence. We expect to schedule a media briefing on October 13th. So again, that's the comment that Billy Joe made before.
Missing toddler intensifies.
She deleted this comment after they drained the pool. Do I have any friends that could help me fix the pool or that can guide me on doing the work myself? and then she deleted it. And then now I'm just going to play some media clips covering this case thus far. So thank you again for being here. I hope you like everything I've edited together. Somebody asked a question. Hold on. Search without success. Thursday. Hold on, guys. Somebody asked something in chat. I just want to scroll up and find it. 1 second, guys. October 13th. Okay. Scrolling up. Somebody asked if I thought it would be neglect or if it was like an intentional thing. I think it was Beautiful Chaos asked it, but I can't find your comment. It's still too soon. Okay, your opinion on whether it was neglect or did she willingly kill him? A lot of people are saying they think that this is premeditated. I don't know. It is strange timing, obviously, with the eviction notice and the child support demand. But then it just seems like it easily could have been an accident, like especially with the pool and the pond and how much 20-month-olds like to climb on things, which would still fall on her if she's not watching him or something. You know what I mean? Like, or say she got messed up and passed out and he was roaming around, not in his pen. You know, I mean, that all can fall on her, and it all leads to, I mean, once she tampered with the body, it's no longer like, oh my gosh, this was an accident. I mean, you're tampering with the corpse, and now it's just horrible, guys. If I had to guess on either of them right now, it seems like this could possibly have been in the plan. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. If it's an accident, then you call the police. Well, what if she was on something, or there was drugs in there or something, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like, or maybe that's what he got into, some drugs or something. And yes, it's an accident, like, oh my gosh, but like, she'd still obviously get in trouble for having the substances around and endangering the welfare, etc. My thing is, if grandma had custody and this happens on grandmother's watch, I mean, is she at risk of endangering the welfare of the child? I mean, I don't know. My head's everywhere, guys. Put a 1 if you think that this was premeditated. Put a 2 if you think that it was I don't know, maybe somebody got angry or otherwise. So 1 is premeditated and 2 is otherwise. Yeah, exactly. Was she even supposed to be watching him? I don't know, Beautiful Chaos. It doesn't seem so. Okay, I see lots of 1s, but honestly, I'm seeing lots of 2s. Keep voting while I play these media clips, okay? And good morning, everyone joining.
The missing toddler intensifies.
Now we are continuing to use every investigative resource available for us to locate little Quinton. We have conducted multiple interviews, executed multiple search warrants, and we've canvassed numerous specific geographic areas.
Police say little Quinton's mother told them she last saw him in his playpen around 6 in the morning Wednesday. The FBI is involved, and authorities have spent the last 5 days extensively searching the area near the family's home.
I need everybody to help, everybody that knows anything, anybody. He's just a baby.
Quinton's grandparents say the boy's mother's story does not make sense.
She's lied to us so many times, and I don't know, it's just bad to say, but she just likes to lie.
Police have been to the family's house before. According to police reports, family members say Quinton's mom has a history of stealing and using the money to buy drugs. Quinton's babysitter told News Nation station WSAV she heard from Quinton's mom early Wednesday morning when she said she didn't have to watch Quinton that day.
I get a text at 9 o'clock saying, have I seen Quinton? I immediately go to their house. I try to help them look. They didn't want that. My heart is broken. I'm not his mother. I'm not his family, but I love him very much. And I just don't know what could happen. The police did a really good job of looking.
Complaint about her 1-year-old son is missing. She woke up. Her door was open. But he's unable to open the door. I think someone came in and took him.
News 3 obtained a recording of the police dispatch call made on that day. Leilani Simon told police that she last saw little Quinton in his playpen around 6 that morning. A small army of law enforcement officers have searched the area around the West Chatham County home by air, on horseback, and with the help of drones and dogs. But so far, no sign of the child.
Today, we were there as investigators used a pump and a fire truck to drain the swimming pool in the backyard of Quinton's grandparents' home. That pool and this home, two of the places we know Chatham County investigators and federal agents are searching again. The WSAV investigative unit was told the 911 call Leilani Simon made at 9:42 last Wednesday morning, and the body camera video of officers searching this home for little Quinton are both part of an ongoing investigation. The county attorney told us we can't have those.
We have to protect the integrity of the investigation, and that's first and foremost.
New today, exclusive new details show that Simon's grandmother, Billie Jo Howell, did in fact have legal custody of Quinton and his older brother. We've learned Quinton's mom was ordered to pay child support for the two boys. Court documents show Leilani Simon had been to court, and she knew she was going to be ordered to pay. The judge's ruling was signed exactly 1 week before Quinton disappeared. The third page of that court order says this: Leilani Simon would have to start paying child support on November 1st and wouldn't stop until the boys turned 18, married, became emancipated, or died. That babysitter told me she talked to DCFS, and so did other people in that neighborhood. This video is absolutely jarring. It shows the desperation of the people who love Quinton Simon.
You're awful to say you're gonna put a memorial. My baby's not dead.
Quinton's grandmother in Quinton's babysitter's house. The intense moments recorded by Dana McCarta's daughter. Dana says Quinton's grandmother barged through her back door, mad over the thought of a memorial for the missing toddler.
My baby's not dead.
I think that she's trying to take the heat off of them.
Diana talking with us today, telling me she's called Georgia's Department of Family and Children's Services about Quinton and his siblings before. DFACS told you there was a case.
Yes, absolutely.
Diana isn't the only neighbor here to tell us they were concerned about the children in this home.
I was afraid he was going to get hit.
We tried to get Billie Jo Howell's side of this story. She didn't answer her phone since yesterday, when federal investigators, firefighters, and Chatham police drained Quinton's grandparents' backyard pool. Grandmother Billie Jo Howell's Facebook had a post asking for help getting that pool fixed. It's been deleted.
I should not have been out of town. You did. You shouldn't have.
But the emotions in this neighborhood, they haven't gone anywhere.
I want to see that on the news. Oh, it's gonna be.
We learned from Chatham County Police today that they have evidence in this case, evidence that they believe will take them to the next step or break in the case. They didn't tell us what that evidence is. We do know that they have cell phone data and that they've collected evidence from Quinton's home, but we don't know what that cell phone data told them or what they took from that home.
Thing to say? Leilani, tell us where Quinton, what happened to Quinton?
And then obviously that was the update last night from the police informing all of us that they have reason to believe that he is deceased and that they need to find him still in the landfill. It's just devastating, guys. Just absolutely devastating. It seems like a lot of people are thinking that this was premeditated. My thing is too, like, if it wasn't premeditated, because, you know, we're looking at the timeline of her being told that she needs to pay child support, and then the timeline of her being evicted. You know, was that something that she was like resentful about? So then she or the boyfriend were like taking it out on Quinton, and that's what ended up happening? Or was it like, I just don't understand, you know, and what's the, My head's everywhere, guys. It's just terrible. Let me, I wanted to share this other thing too. And thank you guys for being here. If you haven't hit that like or subscribed, please do so. I'd love to have you here again for another discussion. Hopefully it would have a better outcome than this case, but we cover all types of cases here. This is on criminalities. It's apparently a video of an argument the other day. I think it was on the 10th, maybe. Either way, wanted to play it. So I just think that that's a little bit troubling how, I don't know, allegedly she's saying he's gone. Leilani, listen. Just sad, just terribly sad, guys. All right, let me change my screen and share a news report on this, and then we'll check Twitter for any other updates or news reports, and then we'll probably just end the stream because until the press conference that they have today, we don't really have any other updates. They still have to locate him in the landfill, guys. He has not been recovered. Yeah, they all are messed up for sure. I mean, the grandmother says in her TikTok, if she could be compared to any family on television, it would be the show Shameless. And yes, everyone loves that show and it's entertaining to watch, but to have that be your home life, that's not anything to be like proud of. You know what I mean? Good morning, Looking Beyond. Anyone going to be arrested soon? They've listed the mother as the prime suspect. They're still recovering his body, which obviously is, as you know, the main form of evidence. But it seems like the walls are closing in on her. Okay, so the press conference, Miss Melissa Jade, hello. I'm hearing the press conference isn't until 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Thank you for letting us know that. We haven't been given a time at all. So even if that's off, that's more news than we've heard. Tara's saying no scheduled time for press conference. Recovery is the key. Oh, boy. Either way, what do you guys think that they're going to show? What do you think they're going to tell us in the press conference? That they've made an arrest today? Or, I mean, what would be the point of doing this press conference and if they haven't found him yet and they haven't arrested yet? You know, it's kind of like them coming on telling us exactly what they told us in the tweet. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me share my screen. Okay, yeah, this was last night. It's very short.
And tonight we begin with breaking news, sad news. Chatham County Police and the FBI have notified Quinton Simon's family that they believe the toddler is presumed dead.
According to a tweet from Chatham County Police, authorities have named the boy's mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death. But police say no arrests have been made and no charges have been filed. Our Andy Cole has been following this story from the very start. He joins us now live. And Andy, the police took to social media to break this news.
Hey, good evening, Shannon. That's exactly right. They took to Twitter, and I want you to go ahead and take a look at those tweets. I'm going to read them for you now. We are saddened to report that Chatham County Police and the FBI have notified that Quinton Simon's family that we believe he is deceased. We have named his mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death. But no arrests have been made and no charges have been filed. Chief Hadley will hold a media briefing tomorrow at some point to give more details and answer questions. We will not be making any further statements or answering any questions until that time. We know that thousands of people around the world will be heartbroken by this news, and we share your sorrow. Shannon and Greg, obviously this is a major development. As you said, Quinton has been missing and is now dead. After just 1 week of searching, dozens of FBI agents were on the case, and of course, even more local law enforcement were there and, and assisted in this search, including Savannah Mounted Patrol, Mosquito Control. Many people were involved in this search, and many have speculated the outcome of this, and we still don't know a lot about this case. That's why we're going to have many questions for Chief Hadley at that media availability tomorrow. We will be there, and we will be pressing police for more information.
And Andy, you reported yesterday authorities were gathering all sorts of evidence in this case.
Yeah, that's exactly right. One thing that our legal analyst, Philip Holloway, noted is that it's phones that may help crack these cases. You got to think, by getting the information on this phone, you know exactly who I've called, who I've texted, who I've emailed, where I've been. This provides a lot of key information to law enforcement to help them paint a picture in this investigation.
All right, Andy, thanks so much. Definitely not the news any of us wanted to hear.
Sad. It's very sad. Yeah, there's definitely some time. Good morning, Delaney. Good to see you. There's definitely some time missing. I mean, for them to say, oh, he was last seen at 6 a.m. in his playpen. I mean, I don't buy that. I think the problem was maybe he wasn't in the playpen, or I don't know, guys. I really don't know, like, as far as if I think this was premeditated or if the mom's just neglectful. I really don't know where I stand. I need more information, hopefully from the press conference today. Leilani Simon told her mother she doesn't remember anything about the morning Quinton disappeared. That is what Leilani's mom, Billy Jo, told me. And this is the latest on Twitter. Obviously, nothing new that we haven't already heard this morning, but that's that's where we're standing right now. Yeah, the 5:29 a.m. text was already part of the cover-up. I agree. It's just it's just sad, guys. Like I said, I'm not on camera because I've been up tossing and turning all night just thinking about what happened to this baby. Yeah, exactly, Allison. She better not use postpartum depression. She was knotted out from heroin. I mean, definitely possible. And that's the thing, is they're climbers at this age. Did he crawl up and climb and grab something that he wasn't supposed to grab? You know, it can be so many different things, which obviously would still fall back on the mother and the grandmother. And the grandmother has custody. This falls on the grandmother. Like, it's just, what is the point in going through all this custody battling and all that and like getting the baby away from the mother? We still don't know why she lost custody. Do you guys think that they're keeping that kind of close to the vest because that could be circumstantial evidence to what happened here? Like, why don't we know why she lost custody? Because it's all obviously private information. Yeah, the grandmother unfortunately needs to be held responsible for that. Yeah, I mean, lots of kids can climb out of playpens. Yeah, the bruises on the little one's neck, that's something that I've sort of been wondering about. I know that the babysitter had said that it looked like belt bruising. I'm just thinking, like, we don't really know if that's what it was. So, like, was he being beaten or was he just being neglected and he had like a mark from falling on something? You know what I mean? Like, you fall and your neck like lands on something. Either way, it just seems like he was not in good care. Leilani was arrested for drugs. I wonder if that's why she lost her kids. I mean, that would make complete sense. I think they covered the windows like we saw and did luminol testing, clearly found enough to determine a death occurred. Oh my gosh, you're right. They put black garbage bags or black plastic over the windows for like a little bit, and then they took it down, remember? Oh my gosh. So they were definitely doing like a blood luminol test. Jeez. Guys, it's too much. All I know is I'm happy to have you guys here to kind of process all this. Like, I would be looking up this stuff regardless if I had this channel or not. And obviously I'd be processing this alone. But to have you guys here and process it with me, it's much better to kind of have like you guys with me. Do you guys want me to pull up like a little forensic video? I've shared this guy before. He has a channel. I just looked up. He has he's a oh, so glad you subbed, Yorkshire Rose. Glad you're here. I have hi Lindsay, good to see you. I have a video that I just looked up because we were talking about luminol. And it's from that guy who we've referenced before. What's his name? Michael McCutcheon. Let me just share it with you. And you guys want to watch how they use luminol? Might be something we can end the stream with today. I woke up early to be here, ATS News. Thank you. Oh, Delaney, that means a lot. If people are losing sleep to come hang out here, that means a lot. So thank you. Oh, that's so cool, Peach. I took 1 year of forensics. It was like a college course, but it was just 1 year and we learned a lot. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I love looking into this. So luminol TAM is the chemical substance that law enforcement uses to detect blood or bodily fluids. And it pretty much, you know, you put it on something and then you turn a black light on and you turn all the lights off and then you can see traces of all that even after they've tried to clean it, etc. Actually, here is the definition. Luminol is a chemical that exhibits, oh gosh, I can't say this name. Okay, let me just share my screen so that you guys realize like I'm not a complete idiot. It's a really hard word. This chemiluminescent, oh gosh, this right here, with a blue glow when mixed with an appropriate oxidizing agent. Luminol is a white to pale yellow crystalline solid that is soluble in most polar organic solvents, but insoluble in water. Forensic investigators use luminol to detect traces of blood at crime scenes as it reacts with the iron in the hemoglobin. Oh, I never knew that. Biologists use it in cellular assays to detect copper, iron, cyanides, as well as specific proteins. Okay. When luminol is sprayed evenly across an area, trace amounts of an activating oxidant make the luminol emit a blue glow that can be seen in a darkened room, which would explain the plastic over the windows. Thank you, Melissa Jade. That all makes sense. The glow only lasts about 30 seconds, but can be documented photographically. The glow is stronger in areas receiving more spray. The intensity of the glow does not indicate the amount of blood or other activator present. So that's the definition. Let's watch a little experiment with it. Hi, Open Minds. So good to see you. Good morning. And then anyone else who've joined us, Twisted Gemini and everyone else, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. So yeah, let me just show a little video of law enforcement agent using this, and he has his own channel. You know, it's so Tom N, thank you so much for the super chat. And yes, it is so sad. Like I said, I'm processing all this, and it's just very depressing because my daughter's like the same age, but having you guys kind of here with me and to talk this through, it does make this information a little bit easier to process just because of the community and everything that you guys do shows support. And break all these cases down with me. You know, we get attached to these cases. And now, I mean, now we have to know what happened to Quinton.
We're going to put it in one of our...
Okay, so this guy has a channel. I'm subscribed to him. He does all these forensic experiments and shows you like how they do this or that. It's really cool, guys. Like he's had his channel for a long time, and he doesn't have many subs. Like for all the views that he's got and all the information he's got, I would, you know, highly recommend you guys subscribe to him, because it's just a plethora of knowledge. So let me just play this and we can kind of see it firsthand. And I haven't watched this yet ever, so.
Hi, welcome back to Forensic Education. I'm Sergeant Mike McCutcheon. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to collect blood evidence, either dried blood, blood that has been cleaned, or wet blood. I'm also going to talk a little bit about packaging that blood to make sure that we don't cross-contaminate your samples. So I have a couple things set up. We're going to do some preliminary blood tests. So if you see a stain that you want to test to see if it is blood, we're going to do that. Then we're also going to use luminol and some Blue Star to see if we can find some blood that has been cleaned up if you're at a crime scene.
Thank you, Sniper79.
Crime scene.
And hello, Tia.
So the first thing we're going to do is always wear gloves to make sure that you're not going to contaminate yourself or the crime scene. So some of the things that you're going to need for the testing of DNA or testing for blood. The first, you're going to need either sterile or distilled water. These are small individually packaged sterile water that we can use. Sometimes the lab, depending on what lab you use, some will like you to use distilled water, some will like you to use sterile water. So we're going to use sterile water. Today we also have a product called Bloodstain Green Quick Check. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to quickly check to see if a stain that we are testing is blood or not, is a preliminary blood test. It would still need to be sent to the lab to make sure that it is confirmed blood, but it will give us that test. Another one, preliminary blood test, we'll use the hemosticks. Same concept as this. It's a preliminary blood test to see if we're going to have blood at our crime scene. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you how to process wet blood. So I dripped some blood on this tile here. You can still see that it's moving around, so I need to be careful with it. But I'm going to put it in front. And now with wet blood, what we want to do is we want to make sure we take a sample, just like that. So now we have our swab with the blood on the end. It's very important that we don't package blood in plastic. If you package blood in plastic, it's going to get moldy, just as if you put a wet towel in the corner and then you take that towel up and it smells and it starts to get moldy. It's the same concept. If you put wet evidence in a plastic bag, you're going to get that mold growing in there. You don't want that. So what we would do with this is we would let that dry. Then once it's dry, we're going to put it in one of our packaging boxes and we would just put that in there. So we're going to let this one dry. And we'll leave that there for demonstration purposes. Now, when we're collecting blood, normally what you would do is when you get these sticks, they usually have 2 in them. And the reason for that is one is used to collect your sample like we just did. And the second one is for a control, to make sure that the sample is not contaminated and also to test the surface that you're on. So for this particular one, I would have one away from the blood that I want to test, and I would have that as my sample, and then I would test the blood that I wanted. So I would have both. I would have my sample, and then I would have the actual blood that was collected. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to collect blood that has been dried. So on here I have some dried blood. Now this is a significant amount of blood, so you would be able to use your swab to get a good sample. But if it wasn't completely dry, what you would do is take your swab. I'm going to uncap my distilled water. I'm just going to put a drop or two on the end. So now with my wet Q-tip or my wet swab, I'm just going to rub it on my sample. Now this is a big sample. So now I have a really good swab. There's a lot of evidence on here that is potentially blood. So what I'm going to do with this is you're going to now test this with our preliminary blood test to see that if this is blood. And again, we're going to use our quick check. And inside the quick check, there's 2 ampules inside. And we're going to move this over our first ampule and break it. We'll move it over the second ampule. Okay, now we have the contents mixed. We'll give that a second to get down into the tip. And now if we just focus here on the end, we're going to drop. Now you can see how that turned green. I'm going to put it in for the close-up. You can see how that turned green from the red side to the green. So that would be a positive test for a preliminary test for blood. Now we can do a similar test using the hemosticks. The problem with the hemosticks is contamination. They come in this package, and inside there are several hemosticks inside that you can use. So now I have just touched this blood, and I put blood over here, and we're letting this dry. So now I'm taking my hands and I'm putting it in, and I'm grabbing one. So this may be an issue when you're talking about cross-contamination when you're on the scene or when you're on the stand and they're asking you whether or not you contaminated the sample. They do work well. Another drawback of the hemosticks is they're actually for testing blood in the urine. So on it, on the packaging, it'll even say for urinalysis. So they do work very well, but we would do them the same way. Is there's a small tab on it. I'm just going to put a drop of water on there. Now I'm just going to touch that to our blood. So now we can see that this has turned green, just as it did in the other one. I'm going to put that in for the close-up. And again, you can see that it turned green, showing that there was blood. So they're cheap and effective, but we do have to be careful of that cross-contamination. So now we have a couple of other items on the table here. I have 3 pieces of carpet, one that I had cleaned completely. I have one that has some staining on it, and then one that has drips on it. Now with these different carpet swatches, when you go to a crime scene, what you're going to find is that it's not in a pristine condition like we are here in the studio, where I can say, oh, that's definitely dirty. As you know, some people's houses are very dirty and the carpets can be filthy. You may not know that that is a blood stain and you want to check it. So you could do the same thing with your quick check. We're going to do our carpet stain here. I'm going to take our water, moisten the tip. Just going to take that. We're going to rub our stain with it. And we'll use the one that was already open. There should still be some left in there. You can see that that turned green. I'll put it in for the close-up. Okay, same as you would on a non-porous surface. Now, what's also important on a crime scene is this particular carpet swatch, I had cleaned it, but on the back, you can see that the blood soaked through. So remember when you're on a crime scene that look on the bottom of the rug as well, because that may be your sign that there was some blood at that scene. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get into the portion of this of using our luminol and using our blue star. Now we would use that in a situation where we think, for example, this particular piece of wood prior looked like this, where there were lots of blood stains on this, and I had cleaned it. I used a regular cleaning product on this, and I wiped it down, and now it looks as if there is nothing on here. This would be typical in a crime scene if there was a hardwood floor, and then they wipe that off. So now we're going to try to test to see if there's any blood on a surface that's been cleaned. So what we would do with something like that is we would use a product, either luminol or blue star. We're going to start with the blue star, and then we will mix our luminol. Now, blue star comes in 2 tabs. I'm using a training product, so this will destroy DNA. Normally, blue star advertises that it will not destroy DNA once you find it. There have been tests with luminol that luminol will destroy the DNA once it's sprayed on the blood. So we're going to use both luminol and blue star. And the way blue star works is inside these packets are tablets. And so you would mix 1 tablet from each in 8 ounces or 4 ounces of water, I believe it is. The package will come with the instructions on how much water you're supposed to mix. So I used a double dose so that we had enough to mix here. The blue star tablets do take a couple minutes to dissolve. So we're going to let those mix for a little while. The other thing with the blue star is that the shelf life of it is a little bit longer than the luminol. The blue star will last about 3 hours before it starts to lose its luminescence. The luminol is going to lose that luminescence a little quicker. So we're going to mix our luminol. And luminol, when it comes in a powder. And I had already added the appropriate amount of water for training. And we're just going to add that in. I'm going to shake that up. Now, while we're letting these 2 products mix, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to collect dry blood evidence while we let these mix, and then we're going to go into the shooting of the luminol and the blue star in the dark. So here's my product of blood, and you can see that it's pretty thick on there and it's dry. This would be where there was a pool of blood and you wanted to collect it. So what you could do is you're actually going to scrape this into what they call a druggist's fold paper. So I'm going to take my scalpel, and I had pre-folded this. I'm going to do this in the close-up. So here's my sample. And what I would do is I just scrape that down into my druggist fold. And the way that will work is I'm going to fold that up. And now you have your drug sample in your druggist fold to be sent to the lab. So now we're going to get started with our night shooting of, we'll start with the blue star. So here is that piece of wood that I had showed you earlier that I had wiped with a cleaner. So I'm going to put it in the close-up. I'm going to spray that and see what we get for results. Will you shut the lights? So I'm going ahead to start to spray. Oops. You can see it starting to glow.
I just checked Twitter for an update. There is no update saying that she's in custody. So I'm keeping an eye out for that, and I will check back with that. So thank you, Theo Gate, for the update, but I'm not seeing it officially yet. And hello, Delana. I saw you in chat. I wanted to pause this and say hello to you. Allegedly with Brittany J. Thank you so much for the super chat. Just wanted to show you some support. Thanks for being my go-to morning show. I'm so glad you like joining us here in the morning. I do want to do some nighttime streams. So for those who subscribe who prefer nighttime and watch me on replay in the morning, it's much appreciated. I'm trying to do a little bit of both eventually. But thank you so much, everyone who's here in the morning crew. So yeah, let me just play the rest of this video. I am looking for updates on Twitter on arrests or people at the house, and I'm not seeing anything.
So now this was a big stain. I didn't have the sprayer on a fine enough mist, but you can clearly see how bright that is getting with the Blue Star spray. Okay, turn the lights on, please. So that's with the Blue Star. Also with the Blue Star is it doesn't need to be 100% darkness when you shoot it. That's a little different than the luminol. It is better and works better when it is dark, but we're going to go ahead and use the luminol and see if we can't get similar results. We'll also try that on our carpet squares and see what results we get from that. So with the luminol, I'm going to use this piece of metal, and you can see about the stain, about the size of the stain that I was using. I had one that I cleaned with just water. I have one that I cleaned with a Clorox bleach wipe, and then one that I had just cleaned using paper towel. So we're going to see how these three luminesce once we spray it under the close-up, and we're going to use our luminol for that. Okay, I'm just going to make sure my sprayer is on spray. I had mixed this previously, and you saw when it came out kind of blotchy. You want to make sure it's on the finest mist possible so that you don't wreck your stain pattern, because that can be important later when we're trying to document our blood evidence. Okay, go ahead with the lights, please. So now we're going to spray with our luminol. So you can see with the luminol that it is glowing, just as it was with the Blue Star. We have a little ambient light coming from underneath the studio doors, and so that's creating a little bit difficult to shoot, but that is illuminating just fine. Go ahead with the lights, please. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to do the same, and what I will do is I'll actually spray this in the light, and then I'll put it under in the dark so that you can see the difference. So here's a tile that I had wiped clean. I'm going to spray it with the Blue Star. Let's see what we got. Okay, go ahead with the lights. So now that's illuminating beautifully. That is a lot of blood residue, but I also used a lot of Blue Star just to show that the luminescence of it. Normally, as soon as you would see that bright coming up through the sample, you wouldn't continue to spray it, but I did want to show how bright that is. Okay, go ahead and turn the lights on. So now we have our couple samples here, and we have the same, you would do the same with these samples, where this particular sample looks as if there's no blood on that. I did show you that on the back, it did soak through. This would be like a Berber carpet. Okay, let's see if we can't get that going. We'll put that carpet square. Okay, go ahead with the lights, please. Okay, now our carpet square, you can see that it's starting to illuminesce. with the luminol. It's coming up nice and bright. Now that's going to fade over time. Go ahead with the lights, please. Now I'm wearing my gloves. I am making a mess and we're in a small area, but the luminol is going to fade quickly. So you're going to need to take a photograph of that fairly quickly. And you would need to do that by keeping your shutter open on your camera and using a tripod. Now, the last thing that I want to discuss about using some of these products is, or collecting blood evidence, is the packaging. I've told you that you need to package this stuff in paper. Very, very, very important. But here's a shirt, and it has 2 different blood stain patterns on it. This one here, it looks like an impression from some type of weapon. And then on this side, you have your drips. It's mixed in with some other stains. And looks like there's some cast-off pattern. There's 2 different stains. Now, if this were a wet shirt, you wouldn't want to just fold this over on each other like this, because those stains would contaminate each other. And then when you want to do some blood spatter analysis on it, the stains are going to contaminate each other. You can test these just as you would the others. You could take your sterile water and test them and do your preliminary test, send that to the lab. But when you package this, it's very, very important that you put something in between them to make sure they're not going to contaminate each other. So these look like 2 different stains. So perhaps we would fold it over on the paper, something like that, to keep that from contaminating each other. Now, what I didn't go over is some of the other chemicals you can use to process blood. A lot of times the blood processing with the chemicals will be done in a laboratory, not at the scene. That doesn't mean it can't be done. Using leucocrystal violet or an amino black, you could also develop fingerprints on the scene using those 2 chemicals. I didn't do it in the studio just because we don't have a fuming hood or something like that, so for safety. So make sure we take your sample, make sure you take a test away from the sample. You're going to do lots and lots of photographing when you package this stuff. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, you can email me at mike@forensiceducation.net. You can find all these products at linpv.com. And I thank you for watching, and tune in for the next episode.
Okay, everybody. And again, I want to thank Melissa Jade for reminding us how they put the black plastic over the windows earlier this week when they were looking for him. And that was a clear indication that they probably used luminol, checking in the dark and all that, because then they removed the plastic from the windows later that day. Yeah, that a lot of education this early in the morning. But if you guys actually do subscribe to him, can you just let him know that ATS News sent you? I always think that that's nice to do. And when I hear it or when I see it in my comment section that other channels mentioned me and that's where they found me, I always like that. So if you subscribe to him, just let him know that you were brought to his channel by ATS News. So, and I will also link that video in the description box for anyone who wants to source that channel. It's got a lot of information. Let me just share my screen and we'll check the Twitter updates before I close this, but there really isn't anything other than this right here. 19 minutes ago, how did the grandmother get custody of these kids? When I was a child welfare worker, I would not have chosen her with this history. Then she leaves the children in the care of the mother. And then it just says, Quinton's grandmother herself has a lengthy rap sheet. Her 18 prior arrests include charges of grand larceny for using stolen credit cards. Whoa. This one here. Prostitution, burglary, driving with a suspended license, cocaine possession, cannabis possession, assault, and battery and fraud. So, wow. Whoever that judge was, I'm astonished. These were the best people that they could get for this baby to be their like custodial guardians. let me just refresh this page with the latest. Just talking about the same thing that we've already discussed. The mother, excuse me, is the main suspect. She has not been arrested. Terrible, guys. Just absolutely horrible. They will be doing a press conference today. I've heard that it's going to be 1 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know if that's exactly true. It's just what I'm hearing. But yeah, those are all the updates, everything that we discussed thus far. Yeah, that was Bree, that was the grandmother's record, according to that article and their research. So devastating, absolutely devastating. So they are at the landfill looking for him. So there was reports that
Wednesday,
sorry, we already went through that. Let me just pull this up. Yeah, there was reports that his body was recovered. I think 10 to Life stated that they had recovered his body. That's not true. They have not found him yet, and he is the main piece of evidence, in my opinion. We need his body, and to lay him to rest appropriately, and not in a. I can't even say it. I can't even imagine it. But guys, this is just a lot. I really appreciate you guys being here today and talking about all this with me today. Yeah, I'm not sure allegedly with Brittany J. I heard one, but then I haven't seen anything confirmed about the time for the presser. But either way, I'll be watching it. Yeah, they do always try to keep the little ones with family. It's so heartbreaking. I give you a lot of credit and props for being a foster parent. So it takes a lot of heart. Yeah, he was so beautiful. I agree. Look at him. I just want to hold him. All right, guys. We will talk very soon, okay? Yeah, she claims she has no memory of it, yet waited for the trash to be picked up before reporting him missing. Unbelievable. I'm just so angry. Exactly, Jesse. So many people would have just taken him in a heartbeat and loved him. Such a handsome little boy. Yes, and he's a little angel. Absolutely an angel now. What happened, though? This is just going to be on my mind until we find out more answers. Good morning, CDT. She said she's just waking up. No problem. But you guys, we covered the timeline up to date, up to today. In this case, so far, we covered the babysitter's statement last night that she said in this stream. Just, everything that we know so far, we went through. So for those who have just joined, it's worth the replay, I feel. And then we went through a little bit of forensics lesson with the luminol. It's just terrible, guys. All right. I mean, there's not much more to say at this point. It's sad. It's just, hopefully we get justice for Quinton, and I believe we will. I mean, never should have happened in the first place. Never. Tom N, the city, thank you so much for the super chat. The city is Savannah, is that right, Georgia? And I just appreciate everybody being here. CDT, are you going live later for the presser? Hi, Roxanne. And if I didn't say hello to you in chat, anybody, don't take it personal. I'm all over the place. And like I said, I was kind of up late last night, tossing and turning, wondering what happened to him. UFC Frog, hello. And if anyone's not subscribed to CDT's channel, she covers more true crime. She said she'll be live this evening and we'll recap the presser. Excellent. Well, then, if anyone wants to meet me in her live chat later, please subscribe to her channel. It's always linked in my description boxes. And thank you all for being here. And we will talk very soon. And you guys have a great day, okay?